All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create this glow project. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. This is the final version that we're looking at, but I'm going to kind of strip it apart and then build it. So we've got quite a few layers here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my layers palette and I'm going to extend it right in between here so that we can see all of our layers in one spot. Now, let's go ahead and just take you down to the original picture here. So I want you to have a portrait for this project. So we hold Alt and click on the eyeball. We'll just see this one layer here. Now I'm going to take it back to how the picture was originally. So here's the original photograph. You can see there's some nice lighting that's incorporated. There's some real thought process going here to how she's posing and how she's ultimately going to be interacting with the object, which is a butterfly. So that's all stuff that's done in the studio, and you need to think about that before you're even getting into the assignment here. So let's kind of pretend like we're starting off here, and what you can do is just go select, and we're going to go select subject. So Photoshop does a really great job of using the AI and identifying our subject. But actually, in this situation, it's not the ideal with her hair. It's kind of a bit off, and even in the hand. But let's just go ahead and apply the layer mask. You'll see there it's a bit fuzzy there. But what was helpful is with this background picture that Larissa chose. Let's go ahead and turn that on. It doesn't show so bad. It kind of blends in. I think because the image behind it is pretty dark, we don't really notice some of the fringe, if it was a lighter background. So let's just go ahead and go with that. I'm not going to go into detail on, selecting her hair, because once we start putting everything else in, I think you'll see it looks pretty good. But if you need work, or if your image needs work, put time in there. So let's turn on this next thing. So Larissa did a little bit of a hue saturation adjustment there. Now think about your object that you're working with. This one here. So we've got this butterfly. So she found this butterfly here, and let's just go ahead and look at it on its own. Let's turn the mask off. So there it is. Okay. You can go ahead and apply. You can either use your magic wand and apply a mask on there. So she did a nice job of removing that part of the butterfly so that it looks like it's inside of her palm. So that would have looked pretty awkward if that butterfly was extending and covering her thumb. So nice job in the edit there. Okay, so let's start to get into some aspects of the glow here. This layer here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one on. So let's just look at this individually. What this is that light blue. So let's just kind of make our own here. I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna go to the brush. Let's turn some things on here. We're gonna pick this blue. So a couple different ways. You can either go to the eyedropper, and you can sample from that butterfly there. So you can see now my foreground color is that blue. And then I'm going to go over here. I want a real soft brush. Let's get a brush. So I want the softness to be really low. And you can also go through here. By default, the opacity and the flow of your brush are probably at 100. So we can experiment bringing them down to 40. Okay, and then my opacity right now is 100% on this layer, but let's just go ahead and brush over here. Okay, so we're starting to see we're getting that glow. So that's one of the ways you can get that glow. Let's go through here and just kind of see what this is. So it's real fine, or it's the opacity is very light. Let's turn these back on. Some things we can do here. We can go to your blend modes. So I would not do dissolve because that's kind of weird in this situation. But we can go through darken, linear. Screen really creates that popping effect. So screen's a pretty good one. But just go through there and see which ones work well. Some of them are going to work well. Some of them are going to not be ideal. And you can also bring the opacity down so that it has a nice effect on there. So okay, so let's just see what it looks like. So that's just the one I did right now. So going from like no glowing effect to what I had just showed you there. Let's go back to our brush. So now that I've already set all the things in place, so what do we have? We've got screen going on with this layer. The opacity is at 60%. my opacity on the brush and the flow are 40. So let's just see what it looks like if I go and I brush in some more areas, you know. So kind of going through there and doing the glow on her face, you know. But so that's all what I did. Let's just take a look at what Larissa had done here in this one. So we're going to go to the layer 3. We're going to turn this one on here. She's got the glow there. Let's take a look at layer 10. So again, these are more just, you know, brushing in different parts. This one here is set to screen and it's at a 46%. And let's see, so that one is doing just kind of more glowing around the butterfly. Let's take a look at layer 11. This one here is set to an overlay. So this one here is affecting, there's an overlay on her face. The opacity there is at 100%. And let's go take a look at this one here. This one seems to be a bit, okay, more of a brush just kind of applied to Olivia there. And okay, there we got a nice kind of glow here, just in the middle. I like that one. That's bringing on, you know, it's brightening up the center of the image. Let's see what we got here. This one, okay, again, just more on the face. It's kind of subtle, so you know, you can see the photographer really kind of broke down and did a lot of different, you know, smaller layers. This gives you a lot more control, you know, if you want to go back and do something. You could possibly do it all on one layer, but you know, this one here, look, it's a soft light. So there's just different effects that are going on there. So you'll see that there's a lot of effort put into, you know, blending each little part there. And these are different colors as well. And then let's take a look at layer 7 here. So this one's set to a multiply. I like that. That's kind of bringing a lot more unity in the whole image. It's kind of darkening up our model here. And then our final one here, this is just a solid color. So you can just add a new layer and go, you just add a new layer and go edit fill, and you can select a color there, right? And you could sample from that one. Okay, so that's how she's making that one there. And then let's turn this one on. For this one, she's got it set to an overlay, and it's at 20%. So, I mean, you can see this, you know, if this was just normal and all the way up, it'd be covering everything, but she's got it at 23%, and she set it to an overlay. So, and that's nice because that's bringing everything together. If you remember how it looked originally, let's take it all the way back there, you know, our model has got a lot of yellow, kind of orange color, not really fitting with that background, but by adding all of those different components, you can really create the glow effect. And nice job. So, all right, guys, that's how to put together your glow project. That's how to get that effect. So go ahead and look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Think about what your object is that you're going to be interacting with. For that item, you can use something from the internet. For the background, you can use something from the internet. But I do want you taking a portrait of the person, whether it's yourself or somebody else that you're going to be doing the edit on. All right. If you have any questions, send me a chat.